Díomh cardide agus fáilte ras, Tásúla an go raibh sa jazz agah a le agus go bhfuil sibh réid an chéad term eile. We are starting a new topic, leaving stone cold behind us this term, and we are moving on to poetry, which I'm actually delighted about because I think that you are really going to enjoy it, and I know that everyone was doing really well when we did relationships back in September time, and we're able to build on all the knowledge from year 8 and year 9, and I know you're going to be able to do that even further to try and prepare us for that jump to GCSE next year. So the good thing about this video is that you can pause it at any time. You will also have a copy of the PDF of the booklet that we would have been using in class, as well as the PowerPoint that I'm using. So everything that you see here is available on the class drive, and I'll have attached it to this week's work as well, and you can go back and review it at any time. Now, as I explained just on the main screen, you will get all your work on a Monday, and you have until the Friday to complete everything, because I know that not everybody has access to the computer all the time, or maybe might not be able to follow the Clarama exactly. So that's completely all right, as long as you have the work done by Friday. And if you're struggling with anything, don't hesitate to go in contact with me, so that I can help you, and don't leave it till the Friday if you can avoid it, because you'll put yourself under a bit of pressure and there's really no need for it. Okay, so just moving on with our poetry, the first thing that you're going to be doing, and your first task today, is just going to be to review those poetry tools. So the copy of your poetry tools, these are the main ones that I want us to focus on first of all, and they're ones that you've been using since first year. So the first thing is talking about our rhythm. So what kind of pattern might there be in the poem to make it easy to remember? Think of those easy nursery rhymes and how they have that nice rhythm that make them easy to remember for ourselves. Then you have your 9 breaks, where they write in shorter lines to slow the reader down. We have our metaphors and similes. We have imagery to help us create a picture in our mind of what is happening in the poem. We have the personification, where we give human qualities to something that isn't quite human. We have alliteration, where we use the same letter or the same sound at the start of words. We have repetition, where we repeat a word or phrase. We have rhyme, where they end in the same sound or same syllable. And we have onomatopoeia, which use words that mimic the sound of the noun or verb they describe, like bang. The first task that you're going to be doing this week is you're simply going to go on to your assignment on your classwork, and you just have to create an example of each of those to try and show me that you understand them. Now, for things like rhythm and line breaks, you need to write a few lines so that I can see there's a clear rhythm. I can see that you've written in different lines, you've written with different breaks and all the rest of it. Some of them will be very quick. If you want to do onomatopoeia, of course, it's going to be one word answers, but make sure you put in the appropriate amount of effort. So that will be your first task, and if you're struggling with any of those, you also have the cheat sheet that we used for our poetic techniques last term, if you want to go into a bit more detail or remind yourself of those. So at this point, you could pause me and you could go to your assignment and you could try and do that first task. The next thing moving on to this term, we are going to be focusing on petal paragraphs. So we've done our PE paragraphs, we've done our PEs paragraphs last term, and this time, because we are focusing on poetry, we're going to be using the petal paragraphs. You might have touched on this depending on your teacher last year, but this is going to be a big focus for us this term. I'm going to help you with the writing frame, we're going to build on it. But basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving our point, same as before. We're going to give our evidence, same as before, and then we're going to enter in what technique is being used, so what language device is being used. Again, we kind of touched on this last term, and some of you have become really, really good at identifying that technique being used and stating it in your answer. And then we're going to be analysing it, okay? So why, what does that imply to us? What does that mean to us? Now, I put this in for reference more than anything else. We are going to be building on it, but I would like you to take a few minutes just to read through all of those links, get them into your head, get them into your vocab, same way as we have done for the P paragraphs. Now, what is a democracy? If we were in the classroom, we would be doing a big brainstorm and everyone would be talking together. Obviously, we can't do that. So, what is a democracy? I want you just to think in your own head, what does that word mean? Have you ever heard it before, and in what context? Then what I want you to do is I want you to do a bit of research. And can you think of a government that is ruled by a democracy and one that maybe isn't? If you can't think of one from the top of your head, go on Google, ask somebody in the house and see can you get some ideas of what that means. And the direct quote from the dictionary is that a democracy is a form of government in which people choose leaders by voting. Now that's one of our main themes this term and in this poetry unit. It's really important that we understand what a democracy is because we're going to be trying to relate that back in all of the poems that we do. I want you just to take a few minutes now to look at all those words, make sure you understand them. If there's any words there that you don't understand, take a wee minute and go to the dictionary, go to Google and try and work out what they mean. Again, don't forget, you don't have to go at the same rate as me speaking, you can pause at any time. Okay, and this is your second task before we move on to our poem. This week, you're going to have to research the two characters Langston Hughes and Jim Crow. And it says here, feed it back to your group. Unfortunately, we can't do that. But what I do want you to do is I want you to write on your assignment on Google Classroom some of the key facts that you find out about these figures. Please don't copy and paste it from Wikipedia. Please try and put it into your own words. Okay, this is all leading us up to achieve the learning objective, discuss themes in a poem in context, because the poem we're going to be studying next week is called The Merry-Go-Round. And our success criteria means by the end of that, we'll be able to respond to the context of a poem, we'll be able to show we can use those research skills, and you'll be able to discuss the ideas with others. So, Akharja, I hope that's all very clear. If you have any questions, as I say, don't forget you can send me a message on Google Classroom. The instructions are also typewritten on your assignment task. And again, just a reminder, you can review this video at any time and you can pause it or you can view the PDF versions if you prefer. Okay? Gura mila maiag Akharja. Slán.